Turtle got no friends here, and Jensen's about to come in. This should be the first mid-outer for C9.
TSM are rotating, and they want to chase him off.
Tower's getting low. They're not going to get it, though. Bifrost looks at Jensen, finds him, and Haunter got his way in there as well. Snare up on Jensen is huge. Bjergsen needs to find the angle, chunks him out with the QW. Him back to the front line for TSM. Have great initiative here for the fight. Sneaky flashed into it there. They're trying to do this again, but a huge shockwave for Bjergsen. A double kill for the Oriana. Smoothie now getting chased down. He'll go down as well to Haunter.
Bjergsen just kept looking for that shockwave on the back line. Ignored the early opportunities for small ones and hits a huge one. TSM moving over to Baron after that 3-kill victory. All right, who's up? Just Jensen and Impact. I don't see any hero plays around Baron, so they're going for the turret instead.
Should be able to get it. Jensen just needs one swift auto. Needs two. There we go. But Baron over to TSM in an instant.
And that's that solid 5-man team comp that we're talking about for TSM. They're able to chase him off of the turret, plus snare contracts under the turret. It's very fortunate that he's able to take this Thresh Lantern. But then look at the ball placement too. Bjergsen is just continually moving it up, trying to get it over to Haunter, who gets right into the back line. He finally passes the ball to Haunter, gets the 3-man shockwave they're looking for, and that's the end of the team fight.
C9 don't lose any more, but they will lose this mid-outer turret, so just a soft turret trade there as TSM now up a few thousand gold. Svenskeren have to chase himself up, but C9 cannot afford an overextension here. Already pinging down to the bottom lane, Haunts is in the wave, prepped and ready to go, and TSM finally reviving some of that panache from summer last year, looking so much better than they have in the first 5 weeks.
Here they are again. Haunter's in the middle.
Haunter's pretty unkillable as well. Impact locked up. He's the tank, but he's going to fall down here. Haunter gets himself another.
And they're going to keep rolling ahead. Baron buff is going to power this push all the way to the inhibitor turrets, probably. They have quite a bit of cash left in their pockets, but really taking a ton from Cloud9 at the moment.
And this is the thing. You just can't afford to make little mistakes like that. The TSM of last year would have punished you heavily, and this TSM's doing it as well.
20+ seconds still on Impact. TSM can do another wave here and stay around until the turret goes down.
Svenskeren looking in for it. Big shots out for Wild Turtle. Gonna leave it open for as long as he can. Inhibitor now wide open. Smoothie gets chunked out as well. Sven's a little low, but Haunter just so tanky in the front side. Ulti out from Sneaky's just going to kind of, oh, that's awkward from Bjergsen, uses the ball, and immediately they have to pull away.
Yeah, that takes a lot of their confidence away. Disengage here, but Impact is in!
He wants to play, he's not going to make it! Toad's not going to get there! Turtle still cutting away with the Edge of Night ready. Haunter low, but he's still so solid.
Woo. Yeah, nobody gets locked up here, and TSM will walk away scot-free. This inhibitor still exposed. There are also wards down here. TSM could return. There's 1:20+ seconds left on this Baron buff as well. They still have a little bit of time to work with.
We do, but 5,000 gold up to TSM. Damage may well be done here for the side of C9, firmly on the back foot. If TSM can do any more than this, the game may well end on the next push, and I think that bottom inhibitor could have spelled the endgame position. Instead, Cloud9 will hold on to some much-needed objectives, but damage looking fairly critical on their bottom half of the map.
TSM coming out swinging here in game number 1. Eager to make up for the first meeting of these two squads. Bjergsen in particular doing very well, and we were looking at him for how he would come back from the 2-0 Fox defeat. Looks like he's wasting no time, and they're making use of the last 30 seconds of this Baron buff. Should be able to get extra gold here off the secondary turret.
Yeah, this is about as much damage as TSM can afford to do, given that they misstepped in the bottom lane. They could have got that inhibit, maybe that turret as well, but they do the smart thing with the Baron buff they have left. Going to go in and spend their gold, or just take the Ocean Drake on the exit.
Yeah, honestly, clean the map of resources. Get everything out of there while they have so much priority.
And all the early damage is stacked up. I mean, we looked at Sneaky and he's still so far ahead. We saw how much damage he was doing with the poke with his 2 items, and he will get stronger, but C9 couldn't convert cleanly for the mid-outer siege they needed. They eventually got it, but it cost them their turret and a Baron, and then so much more after this. And Bjergsen's about to go back and I think probably get his next major item. And you want to talk about power spikes? I mean, Jensen is at 2 items now, which is nice. Got a pickaxe as extra as well, but these Oriana Shockers are going to start to do significant damage, game-ending damage.
They definitely are something you got to keep your eye on because it's very clear where Hanser's going. Straight to the back line.
I mean, he's huge. That's the other issue, right? You highlighted this already. Cloud9 sort of on a timer here as far as their damage types go. And when tanks are ahead of the enemy carriers, he's just having the best time. And Haunter is firmly ahead of all the carries on Cloud9.
3 marksmen on Cloud9. And even though the majority of them are spellcasting marksmen, the Frozen Heart here will also further reduce the continuous attack damage that they're able to get out with autos. So Hanser is absolutely a monster here on the front line. And it's not like you can ignore him because the added threat of Bjergsen passing over the shockwave right to him is kind of an untenable situation. It's this steamroller. TSM just want to come ahead, 5-man squad, group up for the standard team fight, and force you down.
Well, Baron is up in a minute 55, and that third item in Oriana's inventory should tell you a lot about how TSM are feeling in this game. Bjergsen wants to end this game as soon as possible. That is the most aggressive purchase you can make in that slot. And like you said, if a shockwave hits 1 or 2 squishies, they'll all die.
A lot of pure AP for him, and technically does increase the shields as well, so making them even more unkillable. First on the list, though, is going to be the secondary turret here. Clean up the easier goal to get. They also have that Ocean Drake, so any sort of poke doesn't really mean much. You know, and that's really the only thing that Cloud9 could have chalked up to any sort of advantage would be if they were able to land a bunch of the Varus and Corki poke, but even that isn't going to stick versus TSM, so this looks extremely difficult for the comeback for Cloud9 here in game number 1. That being said, it's still a best-of-3 series, and they definitely have at least another chance ahead of them.
First one looking good. TSM actually took the safe turret in top lane and then went back to recall and reset for this Baron Bjergsen. Didn't add too much next to his Rabadon's Death Cap that he just purchased, but we're looking for the Void stuff. If we make it that far, and TSM know that the next objective here will be Baron. If Cloud9 lose this, it will be awfully difficult to keep themselves in this game, so they need to do something on the defense.
Yeah, and TSM have done all the planning. They've got all the pre-work done here. Almost cleaned out every single ward in the blue quadrant. Just this one leading up here that Bjergsen's sitting on. Other than that, every area here, every crevice of this blue quadrant has been warded by TSM. So they will see that approach very early on. And should be able to either pull off the Baron or burn it down according to the timing difference.
3 spare control wards as well. Actually now 2 as they're starting to place them back down in the area. Haunter ready with the teleport, Impact ready as well with both his globals, but TSM happy to play patient.
Yeah, and when you're in this situation, for Cloud9, it's so difficult. You want to try and keep some sort of pressure here around mid lane and push up the minions so that TSM have to at least make some sort of choice. Because right now, TSM, they're happy to just sit on their control wards, wait until you come close, eventually just wait you out. Now they're starting up the Baron. They do have shields to tank it with, plus Maokai almost takes no damage, and they're going in!
I'm going to peel, ulti up from Jin, contract tag with a first impact, trying to block for his teammates, sneaking into the next one, crit onto Jensen's good damage and impact, flashes himself out of the way, but Spen chases forward as Bjergsen takes him down. Now Haunter locks off contract flashes out, good hook there on the Spen's Garen, but he's going to live through everything. Bjergsen gets himself the double, and Haunter's just not done. Ball going to come in, Bjergsen needs to lock this up, Haunter still chasing in, sped up by the Oriana, slows in there, that's a triple kill for Bjergsen, Smoothie goes down as well, that's going to be the Quadra and Jensen, the last round left for the Penta.
Jensen's not going to give it to him though, he's going back to the fountain, but TSM might go in there as well.
We got 25, maybe 30 seconds, the Penta window is long, Jensen is just daring TSM to try and kill him.
Do it!
Onto one step, but TSM would rather take the game instead. Jensen is playing with fire. He knows as well he's going to dodge around.
Oh! They got it! That's the bad kill!
TSM, the boys of summer may very well be back in spring. Clean game 1 versus Cloud9.
Yeah. Victory.
I knew that was going to happen. The first Pete in North America, of course, belongs to Bjergsen. Jensen just made it look too juicy, and he was right, it was.
Pentakill against the #1 team. Explosive victory for TSM. Cloud9, to their credit, they did have the early lead there. had some early things going their way, according to the bottom lane, pushing in. But TSM, they got themselves out of this terrible situation where Turtle had died, given up his flash as well as dying. So they're just like, don't even go back to that matchup. You cannot handle that 2v2 anymore. They switch it up. They go topside to at least trade for turret gold in favor of stuff on the bottom side that's basically already Cloud9's because they're winning so heavily down there and they have Shen. So I really like that, basically escape pattern from TSM to try and get out of a really bad situation. And after that, they're able to stabilize.
I mean, that's what it felt like. The game was stable for a long time. Cloud9 couldn't quite be as decisive or as aggressive as they wanted to. And then it just all went downhill. And TSM, every time they took an advantage, they were just straight back on pressing it. Like, we've seen a very scared-looking TSM for the early part of this season, but I was not scared. No, certainly not at all. Well, for more on that explosive TSM win, we're going to hand it back to Dash and our analysts.
Jinx.
Thank you very much, Pastry Time. TSM with a pretty dominant victory there over our front runners in Cloud9 Game 1 of the series. Now, going into this, Skara, both these team comps, fairly standard, right? So we're not deviating too much from the established meta that was before. So this game should be a pretty good kind of litmus test for us to look at these teams and say, what improvements have they made? Where are they at? And at the very beginning of the day, I asked you, what did you want to see from TSM?
I want to see proactive play, especially from the jungle and the mid lane. But funny enough, I got it from the jungle and like the bot lane. Like the bot lane, they messed up lane super bad. Turtle gets solo killed. It's okay though. They rotated top, got first tower. Somehow was able to salvage Turtle's deficit in lane, and then they came back in with the bot side into top side jungle, got caught by C9, and it wasn't very good after that.
This is that play you're talking about here in the 2v2. Sneaky and Smoothie coming out on top of the kill.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically the best bot lane in North America at this point. Sneaky, top 3, obviously, in AD carry, and then Smoothie, I think, is undoubtedly the best. Great hook there. Big mistake out of Turtle in terms of the direction he flashed, but already it was not a great situation. And like Scar was saying, like, they got crushed. They were down 40